Good morning, students. In the previous lecture of the thermodynamics, we discussed about combustion enthalpy, Hash law, and after that, with the use of Hash law, we solve our problem number 6.9. Okay, where by using combustion reaction of the benzene, formation reaction of the carbon dioxide, and formation reaction of H2O, we derived formation reaction of benzene. Okay, in this lecture we are going to start with enthalpy of atomization. A new symbol arises, delta AH naught. Enthalpy of atomization, remember the symbol, delta AH naught, delta AH naught. Okay, enthalpy of atomization, it is very easy. Look at this, they have H2 and they convert it into atoms, and to convert any molecule into the atoms, the energy required will be known as a energy of the atomization or enthalpy of the atomization. You can see that hydrogen atoms are formed by the breaking hydrogen-hydrogen bond in dihydrogen. The enthalpy change in this process is known as the enthalpy of atomization. It is the enthalpy change on breaking, remember the one mole product reagent will be used, only 1 mole reagent will be used. That is the characteristic of the energy of atomization. Okay, to obtain atoms in the gaseous phase. In case of diatomic molecules like dihydrogen, dioxygen, dinitrogen, enthalpy of atomization is also the bond dissociation enthalpy. The other example of the enthalpy of atomization can be, suppose we have CH4, so it will give me 1 carbon in a gaseous form, not a standard form, and 4 hydrogen in a gaseous form. The energy required will be 1665 kilojoule per mole. Note that the product are only atoms, another characteristic of carbon and hydrogen in gaseous form. After that, sodium solid converted into sodium gas, it is also energy of atomization. Okay, in this case the enthalpy of atomization is same as the enthalpy of sublimation. So when diatomic molecules are there, it will be bond dissociation enthalpy because you are breaking the bond. Likewise, when solid convert to gas, it is sublimation enthalpy of the sodium, but at the same side rules of atomization has been also followed. That's why it is also atomization enthalpy. Now let's discuss bond enthalpy, delta bond H naught. Okay, delta bond H naught, bond dissociation enthalpy, or you can say bond enthalpy. The chemical reaction involves the breaking and the making of the chemical bonds. We know that the energy required to break a bond and the energy is released when bond is formed. Whenever we form a bond, energy is released, and whenever we break the bond, energy is absorbed. Okay, it is possible to relate heat of reaction to change in energy associated with breaking and making of the chemical bonds. With reference to the enthalpy change associated with the chemical bonds, there are two terms. One will be bond dissociation enthalpy and mean bond enthalpy. As common, this is known as a bond enthalpy. Okay, let us discuss these terms with reference of diatomic molecule and polyatomic molecule. Okay, diatomic molecules, I told you atomization enthalpy and bond enthalpy for the diatomic molecule will be same. Look at this. H2 converted into 2 hydrogen gas is 435 kilojoule per mole, and look at this value. It is also 435 kilojoule mole inverse. Okay. The enthalpy change ILMOL in this process is the bond dissociation enthalpy of hydrogen-hydrogen bond. The bond dissociation enthalpy is the change in the enthalpy definition when 1 mole of covalent bond of a gaseous covalent compound is broken to the form products in a gaseous phase. When one covalent bond is broken, it will be known as a bond dissociation enthalpy. Okay. After that, note that it is the same as enthalpy of atomization in dihydrogen. I told you already. Likewise, dichlorine converted to 2 chlorine atoms in a gaseous phase, dioxygen converted to 2 oxygen atoms, and both are atomization enthalpy as well as bond dissociation enthalpy. In the case of polyatomic molecules, bond dissociation enthalpy is different than the bond of the same molecule. Suppose we have CH4. We have discussed that already in the atomization enthalpy. If atomization enthalpy is total 4 bond will be broken. In the atomization enthalpy, total 4 bond will be broken. But look at this. This is the atomization enthalpy. Okay. But every single bond have different enthalpy. So if we break one bond, it will have different value. If we break second bond, it will have another value. If we break third bond, carbon hydrogen third bond, it will have another value. So look at this. In methane, all 4 carbon hydrogen bonds are identical in the bond length and energy. However, energy required to break individual carbon hydrogen bond will be different. Look at this. If we break first bond, energy will require 427 kilojoule per mole. But now, if we break second bond, we will require more energy compared to the first one. If we break third bond, we will require more energy, and if we break fourth bond, we will require a very less energy. Why? Because carbon will be more stable rather than being with hydrogen. That's why. Therefore, total energy will be atomization enthalpy. Now, average of these 4 bond values, average of this 4 bond value is known as a mean bond enthalpy. So, atomization enthalpy of methane will be divided by 4. It will give me mean bond enthalpy of methane. Okay, this is bond dissociation enthalpy, this is mean bond enthalpy. Clear? Because atomization enthalpy is the addition of all the 4 enthalpies, bond dissociation enthalpy, and if we divide it by 4, we will get mean. Okay, middle value of all the 4s. We find that carbon hydrogen bond enthalpy in the methane is 416 kilojoule per mole. It has been found that mean carbon hydrogen bond enthalpies differ slightly from the compound to compound. Every single compound have a different mean bond enthalpy. For example, if we have chloroethane, it will be different. If we have nitromethane, it will have different effect. But there will be a very less difference. But it does not differ in a great deal. Using the Hage law, bond enthalpy can be calculated. Bond enthalpy values of some single and multiple bonds are given in the table 6.3. Look at this. Suppose hydrogen have single bond, that's why it will be 435.8. Okay. Carbon have 2 different values. Some mean bond enthalpies in the kilojoule per mole. It is not that much important for us. Okay, it is carbon with hydrogen, carbon with carbon. then nitrogen with hydrogen, nitrogen with carbon, nitrogen with nitrogen. But this table will not be useful anywhere. So do not discuss about that more. The reaction enthalpies are very important quantities as these arise from the changes that accompany the breaking of old bonds and formation of the new bonds. That's why in the reaction enthalpy we can use bond enthalpy. In the reaction enthalpy we can use bond enthalpy, right? What was the formula for a reaction enthalpy? Addition of all the formation enthalpy of the product minus addition of all the formation enthalpy of reagent. Now this formula will be opposite for bond enthalpy because in the formation enthalpy we are making bonds. So product minus reagent. Now we are breaking bond. So it will be reagent minus product. Okay, look at this. Addition of bond enthalpy of reagents minus addition of bond enthalpy of product will be equal to the reaction enthalpy. Why? Because in the bond enthalpy we are breaking bond, in the formation enthalpy we are formatting a new bonds. This relationship particularly more useful when required value of formation enthalpy are not available. If formation enthalpy is not available, we can use bond enthalpy. The net enthalpy change of the reaction is the amount of energy required to break all the bonds in the reaction molecule minus reactant molecules minus amount of energy required to break all the bonds in the product molecules. Remember that this relationship is approximately and is valid when all the substances in the reaction are in a gaseous phase. Condition has been given. First of all, these values are approximate values. Second thing, these all reaction must be carried out at a gaseous phase only. Okay, they have given us two different values. Look at this. First, note that symbol used for bond dissociation enthalpy and mean bond enthalpy are same. First specification they have given is we will use same symbol for mean bond enthalpy and bond dissociation enthalpy. And second thing, they told us if we use enthalpy of bond formation delta F, then product minus reagent, and if we use bond dissociation or bond enthalpy, it will be reagent minus product. Okay, our next enthalpy is lattice enthalpy. In the lattice enthalpy, for the explanation of lattice enthalpy, we are going to study Born-Haber cycle. We are going to study Born-Haber cycle. First of all, this cycle is 5 marker most important question for you guys. Okay, look at this. The lattice enthalpy of ionic compound is enthalpy change which occurs when 1 mole of ionic compound dissociates into its ions in a gaseous phase. Okay, what does this stand for? Ionic compound converted into ions is known as a lattice enthalpy. Ionic compound, suppose NaCl is there. So if NaCl converts into Na plus and Cl minus in a gaseous form, that will be known as a lattice enthalpy. Okay, for NaCl, lattice enthalpy is plus 788 kilojoule per mole. Since it is impossible to determine lattice enthalpy directly by experiment, we can use indirect method where we can construct an enthalpy diagram called Born-Haber cycle. Okay, so let's do this. Let us calculate enthalpy of NaCl by following steps. Let's do this. What I want to do is my formation reaction. Okay, let's complete the formation reaction of NaCl. Okay, for the formation reaction of NaCl, we will require Na in a solid form. Okay, then 1/2 Cl2 in a gaseous form. The formation reaction is taking place over here. Okay, which will provide me NaCl solid, which is a formation enthalpy. So this reaction is formation reaction, both are elemental form and in the standard form. So this will provide me delta FH naught, right? Is that clear? But we cannot identify this value directly, so we will need different steps. So for that, this is our first equation. Okay, now our equation number 2. In the first step, sodium will be converted into gaseous form. So sublimation enthalpy, because sodium is solid and solid sodium will be converted into gaseous sodium. So sublimation enthalpy, or you can say atomization enthalpy. You can use any of the symbols, delta sub H naught, or you can also use delta A H naught. Any one of them can be used. Okay. After that, let's talk about our next step. In the next step, gaseous sodium will release electron. So Na gas will release one electron and it will give us Na plus in a gaseous form and one electron. Okay, removal of electron is known as a ionization enthalpy. Removal of electron is known as a ionization enthalpy. So delta I H naught. Okay, that will be our step number 3. After that, our step number 4. Let's talk about chlorine now. Chlorine, Cl2. Okay, now Cl2, which is in a gaseous form, right? So in the first step, bond dissociation occurs. So it will give me 2Cl in a gaseous form. Okay, is that clear? It will provide us delta chlorine-chlorine bond dissociation enthalpy, right? H naught, or you can say delta atomization enthalpy, because it is diatomic molecule, right? Now look at this. Here we used Cl2, and in our equation 1/2 Cl2 is used. So this will be multiplied by 2. So 1/2, and here 2/2. That's why this enthalpy will be divided by 2. So 1/2 will be multiplied. Okay, if you use any of that symbols, right? Now 2/2 means 1. So I am going to erase this 2/2. Okay. Our next reaction will be electron gain enthalpy of the chlorine. So Cl atom, which is in a gaseous form, will get one electron and it will give us Cl minus in a gaseous form. Okay, and this will provide us a simple mechanism of electron gain enthalpy. So delta Eg, electron gain enthalpy, H naught. Okay. In the sixth step, Na plus gaseous, Na plus in a gaseous form will combine with Cl minus in a gaseous form, and it will give me NaCl solid in a standard form. So this is the reverse of lattice enthalpy. That's why it will become minus delta lattice or lattice. Okay, minus delta lattice enthalpy, H naught. Why minus? Because lattice enthalpy is when a solid ionic compound is converted into its gaseous ions. The energy required will be known as a lattice enthalpy. Here they have given us a opposite sign. Now if you add these reactions, reaction number 2 to reaction number 6, if you add this 6 reaction, okay, let's add it. Look at this. I am going to use a different color, okay, because I am going to cut down. So sodium gas will be cancelled out, okay. After that chlorine gas will be cancelled out, okay. Now Na plus gaseous form is cancelled out. Then Cl minus gaseous form in the reagent and Cl minus gaseous form in the product will be cancelled out. One electron and one electron will be cancelled out. Look at this. What is the remaining part? Na plus solid is remaining. Okay. Na plus solid is remaining over here. Cl2 1 by 2 is remaining over here, and NaCl solid is remaining over here. So write down the remaining values. Na solid plus 1 by 2 Cl gas, Cl2 gas will combine with each other and give me 1 mole of NaCl solid, which is the formation enthalpy delta FH naught. So addition of all these 5 enthalpies will be equal to delta FH naught. Okay, so I am going to add it simply. Delta sub H naught plus delta IH naught plus 1 by 2 delta chlorine bond enthalpy plus electron gain enthalpy and minus lattice enthalpy. Why minus? Because plus minus will be minus. Okay, so let's write the formula. So formula will be delta sub H naught of the second reaction plus delta IH naught, ionization enthalpy of the sodium, plus 1 by 2 chlorine bond dissociation delta Cl H naught plus electron gain enthalpy, so delta Eg, electron gain enthalpy, H naught, and plus minus delta lattice enthalpy, H naught will be equal to delta F H naught. Now what we want to calculate? we want to calculate delta lattice H naught. So lattice H naught will be the head of the formula. So if delta lattice H naught comes this side of the equal to, it will give us plus value of the delta H naught, and this one becomes minus. Okay. So formation enthalpy, if comes on the other side of the equation, it becomes minus, right? So our formula for the lattice enthalpy will be this one. Now let's follow the textbook. Look at this. In the first step, sublimation of sodium, they have given the value 108.4. So sublimation enthalpy values, this value is 108.4 kilojoule per mole plus. Okay. After that, we will discuss this diagram. Second step, ionization enthalpy, as we have discussed, it is 496. So ionization enthalpy will be 496 kilojoule per mole. After that, 1/2 of the bond dissociation. Okay. Cl2 dissociated. So 1/2 the bond enthalpy, which is 121. So 1/2 will be cancelled out, and whole value is 121 plus electron gain enthalpy. Look at this, electron gain enthalpy is minus 348. So instead of plus, there will be minus 348.6 for the chlorine, electron gain enthalpy. And last, formation enthalpy. Look at the formation enthalpy. They have given in the first step, it is lattice enthalpy. Now the formation enthalpy. Where is the formation enthalpy? Okay. Okay, this is the formation enthalpy, 411.2. Okay, you can see in the table they have given us. Formation table was given, right? In that table we will get the formation enthalpy of NaCl. Let's get the value of NaCl formation enthalpy. Okay, where is NaCl? Have they given NaCl? NaCl, yes. The formation enthalpy of NaCl is minus 411.15. So minus minus will become plus 411.15, right? Will be equal to the lattice enthalpy. Okay, will be equal to lattice enthalpy. Now calculate this in the calculator, you will get your answer. 108.4 plus 496 plus 121 plus 411.15 minus 348.6. You will get your answer. It is equal to 787.95, which is directly equal to 788. So lattice enthalpy of NaCl will be equal to 788 kilojoule per mole. Okay, look at the textbook. Look at the value. See, it is 488 kilojoule per mole. Clear? So let's talk about the diagram. Look at this. In the first step, Na plus and Cl minus gaseous is formed, but before that it will start at from this step. Na solid plus 1 by 2 Cl2 gas. If we use formation enthalpy, it will be direct NaCl solid, this value, right? But we will go on this way. There are two ways, either we go this way or directly from this way. Look at this. So in the first step, sodium sublimizes, so sublimation enthalpy. In the second step, sodium will lose the electron, so ionization enthalpy. After that, chlorine bond has been dissociated, so 1 by 2 bond dissociation enthalpy. After that, electron gain enthalpy, because Cl gas will be Cl minus gas. After that, lattice enthalpy, because Na plus will be converted into NaCl solid, but there is a printing mistake, it is not lattice enthalpy, it is minus lattice enthalpy. Okay, it is negative lattice enthalpy. Why minus? Because it is opposite of lattice enthalpy. Okay, after that, look at this. The internal energy is similar by 2 RT, because delta Ng is equal to 2. Why delta Ng is equal to 2? Look at the reaction, this reaction. This is the reagent, this is the product. So reagent minus product, gaseous mole of product will be 2. One of the sodium, one of the chlorine. So 2 RT. Internal energy delta U, we have the formula delta H equal to delta U plus delta Ng RT, where Ng equal to 2. So your enthalpy will be subtracted by 2 RT, that's why internal energy will be equal to 783 kilojoule per mole. Okay, now we use the value of lattice enthalpy to calculate the enthalpy of the solution. So enthalpy of the solution will be equal to lattice enthalpy plus hydration enthalpy. Remember the formula, this is the formula will be used for JEE and NEET. Now lattice enthalpy is 788 kilojoule and hydration enthalpy is 784 kilojoule. So our solution enthalpy will be only 4 kilojoule. That's why NaCl will be easily soluble in water. Okay, that was all for this lecture. In the next lecture, we are going to discuss about spontaneity. Okay.